See any criminal activity with Donald Trump Jr. having that meeting at Trump Tower with these Russian operatives, whatever phrase you want to use? Yes or no?
I don't. I never have. I mean, the thing is, there is no crime of collusion in the criminal code. There's conspiracy, but the question is, conspiracy to do what? If Trump Jr. stays to the script that has already been laid out, and which he says is true, that he showed up at the meeting because he was promised that there was evidence of illegality by the Clinton campaign, that's not a crime. And, you know, apparently this Russian lawyer went in and said that's what he was asking about. When there wasn't any evidence I could give him of illegality, he lost interest. Now, you can question whether it was a good idea for the son of the candidate to go to a meeting of that kind, but that is not a crime.
Now, do we view this testimony differently in light of the indictments against General Flynn last Friday?
Well,
to me, it just strikes to be a much more potentially serious matter. Yes or no?
I think you're right. I mean, the thing is, the good thing about, if there is a good thing about the Manafort and Flynn prosecutions, is that they're still well removed of any criminal collusion type of case. Flynn pled guilty to making false statements, which is a classic crime in the Beltway. People in the city go to jail not for scandals, but the response to scandals. Manafort is well removed from the Trump campaign or the Trump White House. The only issue here is what Flynn brought as deliverables. He got a very good plea agreement, and a lot of people are wondering whether Manafort or even someone like Kushner could be next in the sights for the special counsel.
Okay, well, so we'll see if we get there, right? Andrew Weissman, right? He's a veteran Justice Department prosecutor. He sent a note to the Deputy Attorney General, Sally Yates, that said the following with regard to the travel ban that was not enforced back then. I'm so proud. I'm in awe. Thank you so much. You think about that and the other text messages that were sent from that were anti-Trump. The language that apparently was changed or altered in the review of Hillary Clinton's email. Do you believe collectively that gives us a different impression or perhaps a different way to view the investigation right now?
I think it undermines further the people's view of the integrity of all of these investigations. And I think at some point you have to acknowledge that this is not a normal criminal case, nor was the Clinton investigation. And that there is a need for greater transparency. Both Republicans and Democrats feel that either the establishment or the deep state is at work in these investigations. That's very corrosive for a system like ours. And I think at this point, I think people of good faith have to say, all right, let's have full investigations on both sides. Let's see what happened and let the public see that.
Let me come back to that point. Wall Street Journal reports that Mueller subpoenaed records that were related to President Trump. Then a private citizen from Deutsche Bank out of London, apparently. And the White House is quick to point out these were not President Trump's financial records. What then would be the concern for him as Commander-in-Chief looking back?
Well, the concern all along has been an effort to start to evaluate Trump's business dealings. You're talking about someone with dealings all around the world. And when you have someone scrutinizing every deal, there's obviously a heightened chance that you're going to find something wrong, something potentially illegal. And so for someone like Donald Trump, a full criminal review of all of your past dealings raises significantly your legal vulnerability. And I think that's what the Trump team wanted to try to avoid, because it is removed from Russian collusion allegations. But the special counsel is likely to argue we need to look at all those records, because if there was collusion, if there was a crime of some type of collusion, that's where we would find the benefit from that, in addition to any political benefit.
I just think about the decision for Jeff Sessions to recuse himself on all matters Russia. In hindsight, was it necessary?
I think that Jeff Sessions made the right decision. I've always disagreed with the president on this. I've always disagreed with how he viewed the Russia investigation. I've never seen really any compelling evidence of a crime linked to the Russian collusion investigation. For that reason, I think that Trump should have welcomed it. He should have said, go ahead, investigate it, let's clear the record.
But that opens up the door to Robert Mueller, and then eventually you're looking at bank records from Deutsche Bank. That's the point to be taken there.
It's true, but this thing was not going to go away, and I believe the president made it worse. with all these tweets and with firing Comey when he did. Not firing him. There was ample reason to fire him.
But if your charge was to investigate Russian collusion in all matters Russia, have they run outside the boundaries of that definition already?
Well, I think they have, but that's not anything new. The mandate given to the special counsel, like past mandates, is very general. I thought this one was written too broadly by Rosenstein, but that's what the mandate says. As for Jeff Sessions, I think he did a favor to the president. He had the right inclination, which is let's remove the possible criticism that I'm rigging this process, precisely what Republicans are saying happened with the FBI. And in that sense, I think that Jeff Sessions has been wrongly ridiculed over this. I think he made the right move.
Last question. Hugh Hewitt writes in the Washington Post on this, the 6th of December, 2017, talking about Peter Strzok that I mentioned earlier, going back to Lois Lerner, James Comey, the unmasking. He says we need a second special counsel to investigate that part of government. What do you think about that, based on your answer a few moments ago?
Well, it's good news for me, because if you take out all the people being indicted, all the people being investigated, and all the people that will be special counsels, I'll be doing 100% of the legal commentary from here on in, because I'll be the only one left in this city. I mean, there's a problem with having this plethora of investigations. The House of Representatives, the Senate, are fully capable of investigating these things, and I think that they will, and I have no problem with that. They have oversight authority. They're as powerful as they need to be, and I do think we need answers.